Well, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Shady River. Join me today on the River Exe for a great little grayling session. It's a lovely day. The river's up a little bit. It's running quite fast. There's a bit of colour on it, so if it finds down throughout the day, it could produce some fish, but at the moment it's quite hard. But do you know what? It's a lovely day to be out. And I'm lucky enough to be joined today by Mr. Pete Tygas, who's invited me out for a little friendly jolly out on the river. Great chap, very knowledgeable. I can already tell I'm going to learn a lot from Pete. So we're just going through the pools, going through the motions at the moment. We haven't had any fish yet, but it's one of those days today where it doesn't really matter if we get any fish or not, you know. It's such a nice day. Pete's just working that pool down over there. He's fishing with a dual nymph setup, just tight line nymphing, no indicator. I'm fishing with a wool indicator and a single nymph at the moment. So basically that's what we're doing. So let's go see if we can catch some fish then. I can already tell me and Pete are going to get on, because you know why? Because he's gone. He's gone up there fishing. He's in his own zone. I'm double blessed today because I've got two cool things happening. First of all, Pete's here doing a podcast with me, which is amazing. Secondly, I've been lucky enough that Orvis decided that they would trust me with one of their rods to test out, which I'm immensely grateful for. So they've given me an Orvis Helios to test. You know, that's quite a nice rod, that. I've just been using it a minute ago. It is as good as people say it is. It's like a magic wand. It's so corrective. If you make an error, it doesn't matter what you do, wherever that tip ends up is where your fly's going, or where your fly line's going, that's for sure. So that's great. So yeah, all we need now is some fish, right? So I'm going to stop waffling on and crack on up river and find a pool and see if I can get some fish. I don't know where Pete is. He's gone. See you later, mate. Brilliant. Right, see you up the river. The river's running pretty fast today. I don't need to say to anybody, just be careful when you're wading. Learn your crossing points is the best thing to do. Okay. So for those of you who don't know who Pete is, I'm sure you all do if you're fly anglers. He runs and creates the Fly Culture magazine. So I've just come to this nice little pool here on this bend. So I'm going to approach from the left in tight and just fish that gravel bar that's on the inside of this pool. I'm going to stick on a short line and high stick it here. I've got to say, this Helios rod is like a laser pointer. It really is. In fact, almost to the point where I can be quite sloppy with it and it's still accurate. It just corrects everything. It's brilliant. I'm not going to want to give this rod back, I know. Oh, that might have been a bite. So my first impressions of this rod are that it's faultless. I really cannot find anything wrong with it at all. It's absolutely delicious to cast. It bends in the right place. This is a 9-foot 5-weight and it's casting a 4-weight line and it's behaving like a 4-weight rod. It seems to have the strength in the butt. I mean, I haven't had a fish on it yet, but it seems to have a nice stiff butt section and a very forgiving top section. It's a lovely combination. I think you could fish lines from 4 to 6 on this 5-weight, no problem. Must be some hungry grayling up here somewhere. So I'm going to do a little shout out to Mr. Blondo now, today. Unfortunately, Blondie couldn't be with us today because it's a Friday and he's working building houses to pay for our fishing lodge that he's going to buy us down by the river, all right? So, sorry you couldn't be here, Blonde, but I'm going to tell Pete all about you and the Shady River crew. Nothing like an angry brown trout to ruin a swim, right? So we're coming up to the otter ledges in a minute.
Right.
Yeah, this is much faster than it was last time I came down here. It almost funnels the water through.
Yes, it does, yeah, it's a little bit. I was recording a thing back there saying it's 60 feet wide, so it's probably not that now.
No. So you can see it calms down through there,
Yeah.
that inside line, and that's where I've had some grayling before.
Good enough for me.
I might have to go for a bit of a squidge. Hello, sheep. So we've just moved down again, further down the beat. Today's been a mission to find fishable water because it's running quite fast. But here, even though it's running fast, it's got the right depth, probably 2 to 4 foot. So even though it's going fast, any fish lying on the bottom will see the nymph and they don't have to move far to get it. So, I mean, obviously on the bottom here, on the floor of the river, the water will be running a lot slower. The surface of the river always moves much faster than the bottom. And fish like to sit tucked on the bottom and they'll pounce on anything that comes by. But if they're sat in 10 foot of water, the chances of them coming up for it are quite slim. But here, it looks good. So, let's see if I can get a grayling for the camera. I need to prove to Pete that I can catch a grayling. This section's got lots of rainbow trout in it. Unfortunately, as much fun as they are, in the past I've just put them back, but as a matter of course now I bop them on the head and give them to the first person who wants it, because they are what you might call an ecological vandal, i.e. they eat everything. They will strip a river out. Such aggressive feeding fish. This is the point where you get, when you're cold and you're wet, hands are cold, feet are cold, and you're tired, and the fishing's dropped off. That's when you've got to keep fishing. Simple as that. Don't stop. I'm going to go and find another bit of water, and I'm going to get cold and wet again, and then do it again. And sooner or later, I'll get a fish. And you've got to have that attitude. You can't expect to get wild fish just like that. They spend their whole lives trying not to get caught. So they're not as easy as you think. Woo. So I am freezing cold. My hands are cold. My feet are wet. I'm full of water up to my knees in my waders. The wind's picked up. I'm getting no bites. So there's only one thing to do at a time like that. I find another spot and go and do it all again.
Thank you, bro. What are you saying?
Yes, mate. Well done. Yes, mate. Nice one. Fantastic. I just happened to be filming.
Sometimes, just sometimes. Nymphs out.
Look at that.
Oh, come here, my friend.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Well, that's the end of another fabulous day's fishing. What a great day it was with Pete. I've come back to the car to do the outro because I was soaking wet. My waders are full of water up to my thighs. Yeah, it was a long, cold day. We had to graft today to get our fish, and in the end, we had 3 grayling between us, and it was great fun, and it was really a pleasure to meet Pete. And his magazine, Fly Culture Magazine, is fabulous. If you haven't seen it before, you should really take a look. Go online, have a look. You can subscribe to it. It's not expensive. It's got fabulous content. There's no adverts in it. It's all about anglers and what we do, and exactly what it says on the tin, the culture of fly fishing, not just the fish. It's all about everything else that goes around it. And it's funny, it's interesting. Pete's a great guy, and I really appreciate him coming out and taking the time to spend some time fishing with me today. I'm cold and wet. I'm exhausted, and that's exactly how I want it to be. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the river somewhere.